Greetings, everyone. Don't mind the fan over there. It's boiling, and I don't feel like turning it off because I will boil. And welcome to a special Timey-Wimey Tuesday Blu-ray update. Yes, all Blu-rays and all classic Who this time around. So let's check out what I got today on the Multimedia Chronicles. Welcome back. So, as you know, over the past several years, more or less around the 50th anniversary, I collected all of the classic Doctor Who stories on DVD. And now, I'm collecting them again on Blu-ray. Because, quite frankly, the new Blu-ray sets are absolutely phenomenally good. And coming from NTSC Videoland and having the original source material for the, well, I guess the studio footage of the classic series being PAL video, the Blu-rays are actually quite an upgrade for those of us here in NTSC land. Also, for a lot of them, they found the original film footage for the location shots and have done full HD restorations of that. So, overall, these classic series Blu-rays that they've been putting out look fantastic and are definitely a worthy upgrade. Plus, to sweeten the pot even more, they're absolutely loaded with extras, having pretty much everything from the old DVD releases, plus hours upon hours of new stuff. So, which ones did I get? Well, basically filling in the gaps in the collection, we have Jon Pertwee, Season 4. So this is Jon Pertwee's second last season. He did 5 seasons total. So, yeah, again, I don't know why they're numbering them like this here in North America. This is technically season, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is season 10. So this is the 10th anniversary season of Doctor Who. So really good stuff. So the stories that are on this are The Three Doctors, which was the first ever multi-doctor story done as a special one celebrating 10 years of Doctor Who. Carnival of Monsters, which is one of my all-time favorites. It's just such a fun, kooky story with some great creature effects and, some cool CSO effects and whatnot. It's just a lot of fun. Frontier in Space and Planet of the Daleks, the epic 2 6-part stories that basically form one epic 12-part epic of epicness, featuring both the Master and the Daleks. It's great stuff, lots of fun. And finally, Joe Grant's swan song story, The Green Death, also known as The One with the Maggots. The Green Death is great. It's just generally a great story, but it's also such a beautiful, heartfelt send-off for the beloved companion, Joe Grant. It's such a great story. Love it so much. So, in terms of extras, we've got all the stuff from the previous DVD releases, as I mentioned. Plus, just reading off the back here, we got optional updated effects and 5.1 surround sound for Planet of the Daleks. Also has the colorized episode that they did. Beautiful restoration on that. It looks darn near on par with the other 5 episodes of the story. It's really good. We have Doctor Who and the Third Man, a new feature-length documentary covering the Pertwee era. Keeping Up with the Joneses. This is a really fun short featuring Katie Manning and Stuart Bevan as they return to Wales. And it's actually with them in character as their characters from The Green Death, as if they've been together this whole time and they're going back to, some of the old places, and there's some strange goings-on and whatever. It's just a wonderful short little feature. Looking for Lenny, the life and career of director Lenny Mayne. We have the Green Death 1973 Omnibus repeat, which is actually the first time it was ever available. And then we have, we have the special Blu-ray trailer featuring the return of Joe and Cliff Jones. I think that's the one where they're in character. The other one is just them as themselves. But anyway, it's been a while since I've looked at the extras for these. But really, really good stuff. 26 classic episodes, beautifully remastered, and it's absolutely wonderful. Now, unfortunately, I mean, this is fine. We've got, you know, nice trays for them in here. But unfortunately, as of this release, it looks like we're not getting the slipcovers anymore, because you might recall, I'll just grab a random one here. We don't get the nice Digipack packaging, like the beautiful library packaging that they do in the UK releases, but at least we were getting slipcovers with them, at least for the first 3 releases. However, as of this one, we don't get slipcovers anymore. So it's like they're slowly paring down the packaging more and more and more, and I hate it. But anyway, that's that. So we'll just put this next to Tom Baker's first season there. Yeah, see, I mean, and it looks slightly smaller next to the ones with the slipcovers, and just the OCD collector in me just hates that. Next up, we got Colin Baker, the complete season 2, which was his sadly last season. It was I can never say enough about how much Colin Baker was shafted. I really liked his Doctor, and I really liked how it was developing over the 2 seasons that they did. It was supposed to have a story arc to it, where he was going to start off very brash and abrasive and arrogant and obnoxious, and then soften over the course of his run. Colin Baker wanted to do a nice long run comparable to Tom Baker's originally, and but the BBC, this was the era of Michael Grade and his ongoing efforts to destroy Doctor Who. And so, you know, after his first season, the show went on hiatus for 18 months, and then it came back in a truncated 14-episode season instead of the usual 26, which had been the norm for a very long time. And then he was fired at the end of it. And basically the story goes that Michael Grade had decided that 3 years was an adequate run for each Doctor, and that they should change up the lead actor every 3 years to keep it fresh, and that the 18-month hiatus in between his 2 seasons should count as part of that 3 years. Like, what kind of nonsense is that? So, yeah, anyway, there's a wonderful documentary on here called Trials and Tribulations. It's all about how the show was kind of in turmoil. It was on almost on the chopping block, and this was their attempt to kind of bring it back and you know, keep it alive. And you know, when Colin Baker was told that they wanted him to regenerate, he was like, well, let me do one more season and I'll regenerate at the end of it, rather than just coming back for one regeneration story. And they said, okay, we'll call you back. They never called. And that was it. And yeah, so it's very unfortunate. On the plus side, though, there is light at the end of the tunnel there, because Colin Baker has since had the opportunity to fully play out the original plan for his Doctor through the Big Finish audio adventures, which many fans do consider to be canonical, especially since the Night of the Doctor special, which basically made them canon. At least the 8th Doctor adventures were canon. So yeah, anyway, Colin Baker did get justice in the end, but at the time, boy, did he ever get screwed over. Anyway, this is his final season, the epic 14-part story, The Trial of a Time Lord, which I noticed they've misspelled on here as Trial of the Time Lord. Really? It's literally one story title. You couldn't proofread the one story title? Anyway, this is a really cool set. So we have all 14 episodes, beautifully remastered. We've got 5.1 surround sound mixes and isolated scores on all 14 episodes. Plus, we have extended edits of every single episode. So the very often what they would do is they would edit together episodes and then kind of cut them down and trim them for time for the broadcast version. So they found all of the early edits for the entire season, and they have all 14 of them on here. So you got extended versions of all 14 episodes, which is really, really cool. Some have more extensions than others. Some of them are pretty close to the broadcast, but it's pretty cool. I think there's about maybe a half an hour of additional material total, somewhere around there. So, yeah, it's pretty cool. It's like getting a whole extra episode over the course of the season, you know. So, anyway, pretty cool to have that. You've also got a standalone special edition of Terror of the Vervoids. So, by the way, even though the story is under the blanket title of Trial of a Time Lord, it's actually 4 stories which are interconnected by the bridging story of the trial. So you have The Mysterious Planet, Mind Warp, Terror of the Vervoids, and The Ultimate Foe. So, Terror of the Vervoids was the 3rd of the 4 stories. Basically, it's kind of like Murder on the Orient Express in space. I always really liked that one. I know a lot of people complain about that as not being a very, very good story, but I always liked it. Maybe because I enjoy a good murder mystery. But anyway, so they have a standalone special edition, which is basically like an alternate version of it that was done recently. We also have Behind the Sofa segments, of course, with Colin Baker, Nicola Bryant, Bonnie Langford, Fraser Hines, Mark Strickson, and Matthew Waterhouse. You got the Writer's Room, which interviews Eric Sayward, Philip Martin, Christopher Bidmead, and Wally K. Daly, discussing The Lost Season 23. So the Season 23 that almost was, that was going to be the season between his first and second seasons, but because of the hiatus, all the stories that were developed for that were put on the shelf. A bunch of them were later novelized, and then I think all of them were actually adapted for audio by Big Finish. There was one called, I think it was Yellow Fever and How to Cure It, that didn't really get developed much, and they didn't find any information. There was no scripts, no story treatment, nothing, so that was the one that I think didn't get developed. But all the rest of them were since adapted as audio dramas, and I think 3 of them were novelized by Target way back in the day. So we did get to experience The Lost Season 23 in some form eventually. Then we got the Doctor Who Cookbook revisited. Brave cast members tackle recipes from the 1985 official cookbook. That's pretty cool. Then we have the Doctor's Table. Join Colin Baker and friends for dinner. And then we have In Conversation. Matthew Sweet chats to companion Bonnie Langford. Got hours upon hours of studio footage, which is really cool. I love stuff like that. It's like basically fly on the wall type of things where you just get to watch them working on the show and seeing the flubs and how they set up shots and scenes and the little conversations that the actors have with the director about how to play a scene. That stuff is absolute gold to me. It's just so fascinating, and I just eat it up. So I love that with a lot of the Blu-ray sets where they found that studio footage, they include more of it than what we've had previously on the DVDs. Because the DVDs had less storage space, not a big problem with Blu-rays, because Blu-rays have tons of space on them. So while they would present sort of cut-down versions for the DVDs, on these ones we often just get the entire studio tape, like everything that's on it, or a good chunk of it anyway. So pretty cool stuff. So really cool to see that on here. And then we've got some rare archive discoveries. We've got the Blu-ray trailer for the set, which has Colin Baker on trial for parking tickets or something, and it's all done in the same style as the show, which is cool. And then you got a PDF archive of scripts and rare archival material, plus all of the extras from the original DVD release. So, holy moly, for being a shorter season, they sure packed this full of stuff. Like, this is absolutely amazing. And if you're a fan of the Sixth Doctor like I am, this is such a treat. It's absolute pure gold. So let's slide that in where it goes in the continuity. Look at that. We're getting a nice filling out of the collection here. And now, last, but most definitely not least, we have a very special edition here, a steelbook of the recently fully animated reconstruction, bringing back to life a classic Second Doctor adventure, the Macra Terror. Look at that. That is beautiful. Now, you may recall I have a few steelbooks from before. Like, I've got the, I've got a couple of them here. I've got the original release of Power of the Daleks. I actually did order the recently released special edition of that. That's on its way. No Steelbook for that one, sadly. And then, of course, Shada. So I love these Steelbook editions. And with the animated reconstructions, I'm trying to get them all in Steelbook form because, quite frankly, the Steelbooks are absolutely gorgeous. I mean, look at that. I just love that alternate artwork. So this is a 3-disc set, which this one actually does have some additional material on it that is not in the regular edition. It also comes with a booklet and an ad for some Doctor Who comics, and of course the sort of interesting pocket J card that the UK releases have. Now, like all the other Blu-ray releases of these, this is actually region-free, so no worries about being able to play it there. Now that said, being region-free, it will play, well, just to go with the equipment I have, it'll play on the PS4, but not on the PS3. No idea why. But maybe the PS4 just likes PAL content. Well, it's not PAL though. It's HD. I don't know. Anyway, doesn't play on the PS3, but it does play on the PS4. So there you go. And I found out, by the way, in case I haven't corrected this yet, this is actually region free. When I did my closer look at it a while ago, I said that it was region B locked. I was wrong. I popped it into the PS4, and sure enough, it played. No problem. So, region free. Region free, baby. Gotta love it. Anyway, what is on this? Okay, so, first off, we have all 4 episodes fully animated in color and in black and white, whichever you prefer. It's really well done. We've got audio commentary on all 4 episodes. Episode reconstructions, so they actually do have photo snap reconstructions as well with the original audio. Got a bonus mini episode, animation test, animatics, animation gallery, teaser trailer for when it was originally being promoted, the alternative black and white presentation, of course, the 1992 audio presentation. That's cool. I actually used to have the audio cassette of that back in the day. I forget who narrated it. Was it Colin Baker? I think it was Colin Baker narrated it. But anyway, it was basically the original audio. It wasn't all beautifully restored like the audio is now, but it was still quite listenable. And so had, I believe it was Colin Baker doing the bridging narration to kind of explain what was going on where it wasn't clear from the audio. Very nice, and actually the only way we could enjoy that story for a very long time. So, so that's pretty cool. It also has all the surviving footage and clips. Behind the scenes film where we get to see a little bit more about what's going on there. A censored scene, I think that was one of the ones that was recovered from the Australian Censor Board a number of years ago. Title sequences, a photo gallery, and production paperwork. So basically anything and everything they could get their hands on that has to do with this wonderful classic story is included there. And finally, yeah, here it is. We have Steelbook exclusive extras. We have Gridlock, which of course was the 10th Doctor story from Series 3, I believe, which featured the return of the Macra. So, yeah, it was kind of interesting. So we got to see the Macra again, but in this case they had actually devolved. They were more kind of just bestial and mindless and instinct-driven rather than being the, you know, the intelligent, conniving, scheming, mind-controlling crab creatures that they were in this. Then we have the Doctor Who Confidential Cut-Down entitled Are We There Yet?, which is the Doctor Who Confidential that goes with that episode, and audio commentary on the episode. So, pretty cool. It's a nice nice bonus to have that. So this basically gives you the definitive Macra collection with everything included. So, very nice. The Steelbook, I was really lucky to find it. I had, I'd waited a long time, like far too long to try to track it down. Found it, I think, on Amazon through a third-party seller. It wasn't cheap, but it wasn't, like, much more than what it typically went for anyway, when it was still available. The Steelbooks are limited editions, so you gotta kind of want to jump on them when you can. But, yeah, so I grabbed this when I saw it and just basically got lucky and snagged it. So since then, I'm trying to track down the Steelbook editions of all the animated ones as they come out. So there we go. Collection's filling in nicely. Getting some very nice Blu-ray editions now. It's great to see more of these classic series sets coming out, and I'm really loving the animated reconstructions. I mean, that's something that a lot of people had said, why don't they do that? Because, of course, they'd animated a few, like, just individual missing episodes. And my thinking was, like, well, I mean, to animate full, complete missing stories, that's a huge, expensive undertaking. And I don't know if the BBC's going to do that for these old stories that are kind of niche interest. So they did it with Power of the Daleks, and I guess it sold like gangbusters, so they've just kept doing them. So now they've done, they did Power of the Daleks, they did a special edition of Power of the Daleks, they actually did it twice. The Macra Terror, then of course there's the Faceless ones, and Fury from the Deep was just released recently. I'm trying to track down the steelbook of that one. And, yeah, good stuff. More, please. The thing that's great about it is they've been focusing, of course, on the second Doctor stories, and those are the ones, that's the era that is the most damaged by missing episodes. So it's great to see so many of those stories being brought to life, again, in animated form through these animated reconstructions, and they're really good. I gotta say, though, it really annoys me seeing fans complaining about them, saying that the animation isn't very good or anything. Like, honestly, what do you expect the animation to... Are you expecting it to be like Disney-level animation? Like, come on, it's not going to be like that. I mean, we're lucky to be getting these at all. Can we just show a little bit of appreciation for the fact they're at least putting in an effort? You know, I mean, we're actually at least being able to enjoy these stories again in some form. Like, I just don't understand the fans who crap on these animated releases, and it's like, they're as good as they're ever going to be, and this is all we're going to have unless they find those missing episodes at some point, you know? So let's just enjoy them. We're getting to see some classic Doctor Who that I'm willing to wager a lot of you have never seen before, you know? So let's just relax and enjoy. Alright, good. Anyway, that's it for this update. Hope you enjoyed. I've got at least a couple more coming your way, so tune in again next Tuesday. I'll have another one for you. I promise. It's already going to be filmed and edited and ready to go and scheduled by the time you see this, so tune in again next time. So I will put Amazon links in the description for all three of those. If you want to add any of them to your collection. I can't make any promises about the Macra Terror Steelbook, but I'll include a link to the regular edition as well, which should still be available. And honestly, the bonus material that's on the third disc, if you've got any of the David Tennant sets of Season 3 or Series 3, you've got everything that's on that disc. So, really, the only reason to have it, other than the lovely artwork on the steelbook packaging, is just to have all of the Macra stuff together in one little package, which is, you know, it's nice. It's nice. It's like with Star Trek Season 2, the original series, how they had one disc that had all things Tribbles on it. It had the Trouble with Tribbles, it had the animated series episode, More Tribbles, More Troubles, and it had the Deep Space Nine episode, Trials and Tribulations. So it was kind of cool just to have all the Tribble stuff from the entire history of Star Trek on one disc. So that's what the Macra Terror Steelbook is, having all the Macra stuff together. So anyway, thank you very much for your support. For anybody who uses my Amazon links, really appreciate it. It helps out a lot and helps me to get more stuff that I can do videos about for you. So thanks. All right, that is it for this time today for you in this video of me. Yeah. So thank you very much for watching. Big thanks to my Patreon sponsors. Be sure to catch me on Twitch. I stream just about every day, and I will see you next time. Until then, sayonara.